Hey, welcome to Small Group and week 3 of our series, Jesus is Greater. Let's start with our opening get to know each other question. Now, hopefully, this one will help you learn some fascinating things about each other that you may not already know. So press pause when you see it and then press play to move on. And group leaders, as always, don't forget to go online and enter your attendance. Now, before we jump into the topic from Sunday, let's have a discussion on one of the areas that will help us grow to become fully devoted followers of Jesus. Remember, we call them the 5 Gs, and this week we're discussing grace. You know, one of the great things about Community Christian Church is we have people who attend our church who are in lots of different stages in their faith journey. And I'm sure some of you are just at the very beginning of coming into a relationship with Jesus. And if that is you, then your goal when it comes to this area of life is very simple. We want to help you place your full trust in Jesus as the forgiver of your sins and the leader of your life. We would hope that you would confess that publicly someday and be baptized by immersion, signifying that new life that you've received from God by His grace. So, if I just described you, I want to invite you to tell the group, where are you in that process and how can they begin to help you reach that goal? Now, for the rest of you, maybe you've already done that and you've received the free gift of God's grace. Well, here's your discussion. I'll start with a question for you to just think about. When you came to faith in Jesus, when you were baptized, who was the person that you would say had the most influential role in leading you to that point? See, everyone I know has at least one person, someone who prayed for you, invited you, shared the gospel with you. And you'd have to say that if it weren't for that person, you wouldn't be a follower of Jesus today. So here's my question. Whose person are you going to be? Is there someone in your life that a month, a year, 5 years from now is going to say, hey, that's my person. I wouldn't be a Christian without them. Who's going to say that about you? If they're going to say that, you have to decide to do something, to say something, to move in their direction, to make an invitation. So, will you do it? And when's that going to happen? Here are some questions to get the discussion started. Press pause when you see them, and press play when you're ready to move on. Well, I have to tell you, I absolutely love what we learned from Jesus on Sunday. The event that we looked at between Jesus and His very first disciples, it just gets right at the heart of a topic that I've dealt with personally, along with countless people that I've talked to over the years. Now, if you missed the message on Sunday, don't worry. We're going to read the story together in just a moment, so make sure someone has a Bible nearby or maybe the Bible app on your phone. But in this encounter with His disciples, Jesus makes it clear God is not distancing Himself from us. God's not mad at us. There's no reason for us to be afraid of Him. In Jesus, God has come near to us, and He's inviting us, just like He did with those first disciples, to come and to follow Him. So many of us have assumed, or we just grew up believing, that God was unapproachable, that our sin disqualified us from following Jesus, that until we got our lives all cleaned up, until we got all our beliefs figured out, we couldn't come to God. But it's just not true. So I want to start you off with a question to open up this topic. Then you're going to read the story of the encounter that the disciples had with Jesus and some fish that introduced them to this radical idea. And I want you guys to discuss how this idea can change the way we approach our relationship to God. Here are the questions to get you started. We'll see you next week.